Hello, hello, hello. I am back today and I want to talk to you about another low cost, no cost, easy kind of tool that's going to help you soothe your inner critic. And so hopefully you're open to that. And I want to talk to you about no rules journaling to soothe your inner critic. So perhaps you become wary when there's a little piece of resistance that you can feel inside when someone brings up journaling and the amazing benefits, quickly followed by the how-tos and the shoulds and the journaling rules. Perhaps you're thinking, you know what, I can't write, or I don't know what to write about, or the resistance is so strong, it brings you to think, God, I really hate journaling. I hope that's not the case, but I certainly understand your hesitation. I've been there. I get it. For me, it used to be, I like to write, but journaling was just like one more thing to add to my endless task, my endless to-do list. So maybe you can hear me out just for a minute. I'm Karen of Karen Shier Coaching, and I love journaling. You've probably heard this in some of my other posts and videos and things. So I want to bring it back to the forefront. Journaling in whatever form you choose can be very therapeutic and healing in so many ways. I've used it. I use it as a healing tool. I use it as a tool to release stress, release anger, release frustration, but also to journal about what I'm grateful for and the things that I want to see manifest in my life. I use journaling a lot. I try to make it a daily practice. It doesn't always happen, but I do it as often as I can. And sometimes I can journal a paragraph or a few sentences, or other times I can journal a page or two or three. Just kind of depends on the time and the mood and how much I have to say. But, you know, it can be so therapeutic, and you can write for as little or as long as you want. You can write as often as you want to. It doesn't have to be a seemingly grueling daily process if that doesn't work for you. Why not start with a 3x5 card or start with a 5x7 card? Just start really, really small. And then, maybe what you do is you kind of go up to something like this. Just grab a little journal. I typically just use a little spiral notebook for my journaling. And often I'll get one that's, kind of pretty to look at, and I'm enticed to kind of grab it off the shelf. But start really small. Don't let anyone say you have to journal or you have to journal a certain way. This is really a personal kind of journey, and you have permission to make it your own. Do it however feels good to you. So as an energy master, I can also tell you with great certainty that journaling and actually putting pen to paper or even using your computer is a very powerful energy release. Doesn't that sound satisfying? It truly is. There's a lot of science behind actually writing it out, and you're taking it from the thoughts from your head and putting them out on paper and kind of releasing them to you, to the universe. And so it's so powerful. And what I'd like to do is kind of break some of those perceived journaling rules right now. Don't take it from me. Here are some other expert opinions on the matter. These ladies are IAJW Journal Council experts. Who knew? Who knew there were Journal Council experts out there? But there are. And I'll talk to you about that in a sec. These are some quotes from a group of ladies that is part of the IAJW, and I'm not affiliated with them. I'm a member of the organization, but I'm not affiliated. I don't get any promos for talking about this. I just really feel like this is such a powerful tool. I love to share it. And I never knew there was an organization dedicated to journaling. So that was a happy thing for me. But anyway, let me get started. The first good rule, if you will, or the key point is whatever you write is right. You're always the expert of your own experience. And that is from Linda Monk. The next quote I found that spoke to me was, write for yourself first. Journaling offers you the gift of time you give yourself for self-reflection, self-discovery, and self-care. That's also from Linda Monk. Hannah Brame said, there's no right way to journal. Whatever works for you is best. There, we have permission. And Hannah had another quote: choose self-curiosity over self-criticism. If you notice writing provokes your inner critic, respond with curiosity. Why? What does your inner critic want or need? What can you learn about yourself from this experience? I love that advice from Hannah. And I often tell my clients that get curious. Don't get upset about a thought that comes up or a feeling that comes up. Get curious. Where is that coming from? And write it out. Journal about it. That really helps release it, especially if it's a lower level emotion, something that doesn't feel good and you're kind of stuck in lack. Judy Reeves says, honor yourself and your stories by making time to write. Consider it a practice like yoga or meditation. And I'd go a step further. Schedule yourself some time in your calendar. If you can't do it every day, then schedule 3:00 on Friday and you make that your time and sit down and journal for however long it feels good to you. Marianne Moore says, start where you are, be curious, and stay present. And Meryl Cook, I love this advice. Buy a lovely notebook or journal that will make you feel happy to write and sketch in. Carry it with you everywhere so that you can write whenever you have a moment and when inspiration strikes you. And I love that if you incorporate the thought of sketching in your journal too, maybe that'll make it more fun. A journal doesn't have to be just written words. It can be scribbles, it can be scratches, it can be whatever you want it to be. It's just your sacred space to get your thoughts out, to get your creativity going. Yeah. So I hope that you'll try it. I mentioned this before. There's an organization just for journaling. And I became a member recently, and I was thrilled to see all the amazing resources. There's writing circles, there's speakers, and lovely wisdom out there that I never knew existed before. For me, this was like discovering a holiday gift, and for the writing geek inside of me. And if you love journaling like I do, or at least interested, check this organization out. I was really thrilled with it. There's some really great resources there. It's called the International Association for Journal Writing, Enrich Your Life Through Journaling. And you can find them at www.iajw.org. And there's so many different ways to journal. I'm guessing you've heard of gratitude journaling, or writing letters to the universe or God or goddess or spirit guides or angels or source, whomever that may be for you, or writing about things that are frustrating you, or writing to forgive yourself and others. I love doing forgiveness writing for myself. And I have a practice that I go through and a process that I teach my clients. And it's so empowering. It's a lovely way to do it. There's free form and structured writing. And the cool thing is you don't have to share your written words with anyone. You know, this journal is your secret place for you to write all of your deepest thoughts in. You've likely received journaling prompts in the past, and I must ask, did you go to the journal page when you saw them, or did you just let them drift by your consciousness? Do I hear crickets? Hopefully you've heard that journaling can positively affect virtually every aspect of your life, including your emotional, your physical, your psychological, and the spiritual dimensions of your well-being. And as you can see, I'm a big proponent and often suggest specific forms of journaling to my clients and my friends. Journaling has gotten me out of some pretty dark places many times in my life. It was often my lifeline to clarity, to self-awareness, to my creativity, and to regaining a healthier mind and body. And it's always a really powerful, energetic release for me. Poof, the frustration clears and the calm clarity ensues. What I've noticed is sometimes, especially if I'm frustrated or I'm angry, I'll write everything that comes to mind in my journal. And there's an immediate energy release then, but usually the next day, like when I get up the next day, everything I was angry and frustrated about is literally gone because I've kind of released it to the universe. It's really, really therapeutic. Yeah. So now I want to go back to the focus intention for this particular topic, journaling to soothe your inner critic specifically. So today I woke in the wee hours of the morning after a somewhat disturbing dream that wasn't real, but I couldn't seem to shake from my mind. Knowing I wasn't going to return to sleep, I arose and I found my way downstairs in the stillness of the morning. The birds were chirping outside at the feeders, the waves were quietly lapping at the shore. I stood at the patio door, saw the sun just peeking over the horizon and a light misty fog over the lake, and took a deep, refreshing breath of the cool morning air. It hit me that this precious quiet time was just right for a bit of journaling instead of turning on the computer that I'd be staring at for the rest of the day. A giddy excitement spread through me. I grabbed my notebook and favorite sunshine yellow pen with "Be Kind" engraved on the side. I grabbed a coffee and I sat out in my favorite chair and lap pad to clear my thoughts and release some vibes. I started with, and please excuse my vulnerability, "Dear Universe." So today I want to explore two things. First was a dream, and second was an overwhelming and illogical, fearful feeling and thought process I go through when my husband is about to embark on business travel. I proceeded to write about the dream first, as though I was writing to a friend. I described what happened, along with my feelings and the thoughts in great detail. Then I explored questions as to why I thought this dream may have popped into my head. It was like a mishmash of various details from my last two jobs. Was I feeling guilt or sadness for leaving? Do I have any unresolved feelings with some former coworkers? After writing it all down, I worked to release it in writing to the universe. I ended it with, "I release the two jobs or the companies and all of the things, both good and bad, associated with both. You belong to my past. No more to be pondered. Thank you for what you taught me. I release you." And these are words I wrote in my journal. I then wrote out my narrative and all the questions and thoughts that came to mind about my husband's business travel. It started like this. "I'm curious. Why does my mind go to a dark place a day or two before his travels, especially when he's going overseas? Why do I have these fears? I start spiraling on something happening and he's not coming home. Irrational, I know." I wrote down all the questions and the inner critic whispers that often come up. In the end, after two full college ruled pages in my journal, I released those fears too. I continued on. I know I said there were two things, but the great thing about journaling is that once you open the creative hatches, the words just come spewing out. I started writing directly to my inner critic. And here's what I said. I wrote this down. "Little inner critic full of fears. I know this is coming from past experiences of grief and loss and not feeling supported. I know this comes from bad choices I have made and have learned from. I know this comes from unresolved feelings and dismissiveness from certain people in my past, and often feelings of not being heard." Then it gets better. "Little inner critic, I want you to understand these fears are not current reality. I appreciate your attempts to keep me safe. I hear you. I now release your hold on my psyche. It's time for you to be soothed, hugged, and to come along with me as I show you another way. It's all okay. We've got this, you and me. And when we work together, we are so much stronger, more confident, heroic, invincible. So, little one, I will never leave you. You no longer need to fear and fret. I got you. We have you. Now give me a hug and let's move forward together." And so it is. So after this unplanned journaling date, it was time to put down my pen and celebrate my win, my attention to my self-care and my energy release. Yay me! I didn't just head to the computer this morning. I worked through some things I hadn't even planned on. What a joyful and empowering experience. I feel so much lighter now. Of course, I would be remiss if I didn't leave you with some journal prompts to ponder with your little inner critic. Yes, there's an assignment. You get to journal. Let me give these to you. So the first one is, what is your little inner critic whispering to you most often? Do you hear things like, "I'm not worthy, I'm not enough"? Who are you to do X, Y, or Z, or other things that don't feel good or fill you with doubt, guilt, shame, or fear? I want you to explore those little whisperings. What is your inner critic whispering to you most often? List them out. The second journaling prompt is, can you remember the first time you had each of these thoughts? reach back. It can be triggered from really early childhood event, and write about that in detail. We're trying to dig deeper into where did those thoughts first become your beliefs, your reality. And then the third part of the process is I want you to look back at what you've written and ask yourself, is this true for me now? And I suspect if you really dig deep, you'll find out, no, this isn't true for me. And, I'm not that same person anymore. So I invite you to go through those 3 journaling prompts and really go deep and let yourself take the time to do it. So again, let me answer number 3 for you. No, they're not true. Any inner critic whisperings you hear are untruths. If the thoughts you're feeling don't feel good, then you know that they are being whispered by your inner critic and are designed to keep you safely in your comfort zone. They're designed to keep you kind of stuck. The inner critic, your inner child, is not interested in your growth and expansion yet. It needs to be heard, acknowledged, and redirected. This little part of you needs to be soothed so that you may move forward with her by your side instead of her leading your way. So once you become skilled at this, you'll be able to hear the whisperings of your true nature, your inner wisdom, your intuition more clearly. These whisperings are the truth of who you are, and they feel really good. And you'll know that it's coming from your higher source, your higher self, because they feel good. And because then you'll instinctively know this is your right path. So I implore you to pick up your pen and soothe your dear inner child as often as you can, even if it's just for a few moments. And I wish you the very best on your journey. And I hope that you enjoyed the tips and the things that I shared in this video. And I invite you to my Midlife Wisdom blog to take a look at that. And you can get that at KarenShierCoaching.com/Midlife Wisdom blog. You can find me there. And if you ever want to reach out and explore this more, schedule a free discovery call with me and we'll dig a little deeper and see how I can assist you. But that's what I have for now. I hope you found it helpful. Happy journaling, and I hope you'll get started soon. Have a lovely day, and I will be back on the next video. Thank you.